Hi, I'm John Byrne with Poets and Quants. I'm on the campus of the University of Oregon in the main atrium of the Lundquist College of Business. I'm here for one of my deep campus dives, having spent some time with students, faculty, and the dean of the MBA program here at Lundquist. This is a really small and intimate and collaborative MBA program. The latest intake of full-time MBAs is a record high 57 students. That's right, 57 students. This is no MBA factory. The MBA experience really revolves around one of four centers of excellence. The two most unique are sports management, and then there's sustainability. You have entrepreneurship, of course, and you have finance. You pick which center of excellence you want to be in. And the last thing I should say is you are in beautiful Eugene, Oregon. It's a progressive community, it's a very close-knit community and a welcoming one, and you'll soon find that out as I bring you through this tour of the school.
The University of Oregon MBA is at the heart about collaboration.
I would say our program is extremely unique. I was extremely interested in the MBA component, but also having some sort of specialization in the field that I knew I was interested in.
It's been fantastic for me. Close to Portland, close to San Francisco, there's a big tech feel. People have been trying to dub this place the Silicon Shire.
Today I'm with Monica Bray, the Assistant Dean for Graduate Programs at the University of Oregon's Lundquist College of Business. Monica, welcome.
Thank you. Thank you for being here.
So Monica, what are the three attributes of the full-time MBA program here that people should know about?
I think the three things would be, one, we have a really amazing collaborative enterprise. The second would be we have these centers of excellence, 4 centers of excellence. And thirdly, we have an amazing environment, great people, great place. Really, really important. We are obviously an AACSB accredited institution, and that plays into being gives the students credibility, but also marketability as they move forward. But in addition to that, we're a top-tier research institute, and being a top-tier research institute means you're cutting edge, you're on the forefront of research and business, right?
Yes.
And so as we move forward, that becomes, for us, an avenue to learn and grow from. And one of the things that we've learned from is that very maneuverable, nimble teams make great businesses.
This is our option analysis. This new concept to really kind of just shout out, hey.
In my sponsorship class, I worked with 3 Warsaw students and then 2 sustainability students who are interested in sports, and that was amazing because they brought an outside perspective on the sports industry and on sustainability in sport that none of us would have probably thought about as we were going through this project.
Now we all know the program is small. What does it mean to be in a small program?
It was actually one of the main reasons I came to the university, and I didn't really understand what it meant. I just knew that it was going to be small, we'd have access to our professors and really intimate teams and things like that. And that's just great, that's key. And we all know each other's personalities, we learn a lot from each other, we learn a lot from the teachers, but from our classmates' discussion is another real value adding that we get.
For me, my motto in life is quality, not quantity, so that fits here perfectly. I like the intimacy of which we get to know one another, and you're building those relationships that after school ends, you really feel comfortable in continuing those relationships, keeping in contact. And it goes beyond the students, it goes into the faculty and keeping in touch and becoming an active alumni as well.
And then let's go to your number 2 attribute, which is your centers of excellence. And here's what's kind of interesting to me is you have at least 2 of the 4 centers that if they're not unique, they're unusual. The number 1 is sports management. Tell us a little bit about that.
We were the first MBAs to have such an area of focus, and we've done phenomenally there. We're ranked very high in that area.
Well, that's something that you wouldn't ordinarily think you would find in Eugene, Oregon.
Well, I mean, it's not an accident, and Nike also was born here, right?
That's true. Because of Nike, in Portland, I believe there are over 800 sports product companies and startups.
Sports is in our DNA.
I never wanted to just go to a sports management only program. I didn't want to pigeonhole myself in that way, and I wanted to be able to kind of translate over into just a business context 10 years down the road and have that degree still mean something. But the sports marketing concentration has been fantastic. It's introduced me to so many industry contacts and honestly just taught me a lot about the opportunities in the sports industry, and now this is the kind of path that is best fitting for me.
And the other interesting specialty that you have is sustainability, which to me fits entirely in with Oregon. I mean, when I think of Oregon, I think of a very progressive culture. What does that track look like if you come here and you specialize in that field?
What we focus on is not just short-term business profitability. We look at long-term sustainable business practices as a whole, and then in the center you specialize more in the areas that would put you directly in that, so the supply chain pieces and the other pieces that go with that. But I think it permeates us as a kind of institution and as a college and definitely as a program.
For me, sustainability has always been part of my life. My father always had solar panels and water catchment systems, and so in order to optimize that, I just figured I could jump into the business school, and the Center for Sustainable Business Practices seemed like an appropriate step. And so far it's been fantastic. It's balanced studies in sustainability with finance, which was my weakness and has been shored up now, thankfully. And also just really widened my perspective to the degree that every business needs sustainability, because at this time, sustainability is profitable, and businesses can reduce risk and truly increase their bottom line from focusing on sustainability issues.
So if I specialize in sustainable business practices, am I likely to get a job in that field?
You may go into working for a sustainability office of a big company, or you could go work in the marketing department of a big company and have the sustainability goals and communications to avoid greenwashing and those kinds of things as part of your work portfolio. So it's really, since sustainability is so much across all the disciplines now, you could end up anywhere.
And a typical project at any one of those companies would involve what?
Figuring out how much electricity or natural gas or gasoline the company uses, what their carbon footprint is, how much water they use, how much business travel, whether or not there's any opportunity to green their products or their packaging.
And I know the other two areas are more common in a lot of business schools. It would be entrepreneurship, which I think is your second most popular area right now. And then, of course, finance and securities analysis. And I understand that in the finance area, you actually have a fund that students manage.
Yes, which is really exciting. So you can go in there and actually see what you've done in the time you've been here, right? To see where you were and where you went forward. And
so if I give them my money to manage, will I be happy or disappointed?
I think you would be very happy. I think they've done quite well. They will continue to do quite well as well.
Michelle, you're in charge of the Center for Finance and Securities Analysis. Tell us what it does.
The premise initially was to combine a strong grounding in finance with a strong grounding in accounting for MBAs going out into the financial services.
And I know in finance and securities analysis, obviously there are plenty of jobs. It's a mainstay of most business schools. However, you wouldn't naturally think Eugene, Oregon is a place to be doing finance.
They're highly marketable when they leave because of this strong combination of finance and accounting. I think, percentage-wise, the placement out of the finance center is probably the most consistent. It's very satisfying from my perspective.
Sure.
They come in and they go out and they get a job.
Christine, you're the journalism major.
Yes.
You're the true poet who came here. How were those accounting and finance courses?
Difficult. They were definitely challenging, but it was part of the driving factor to come back to get an MBA. I felt that that was a weakness of mine that I needed to strengthen if I really wanted to be a well-rounded businesswoman. So they were challenging, but the professors made it bearable and fun at the same time, which was much needed.
Now you're in the entrepreneurship track.
I am, yes.
But you intend to pursue a career in marketing, right?
So I was attracted to the innovation and entrepreneurship track because I think it's incredibly important to learn how to cultivate and develop an idea and take it from concept all the way to delivery. And when you are in a specifically product-focused organization, which is where I will be going, I wanted to know exactly how to see that through and successfully see it through.
And you're going to Nike,
Yes.
where you spent your summer interning.
Yes. It was 10 weeks over the summer at the world headquarters in Portland, Oregon. It was fantastic. Worked on a lot of different products for the men's training category, which is where I was placed, and I'm looking forward to going back and joining the team.
Now, what's your best advice to someone who wants to come and basically be in your MBA program?
My best advice for this program, and maybe for others, would be to look at who you are, what your strengths are, and then look at our program and see the 4 centers of excellence and see what we do, kind of as a program as a whole, also a program with these tracks, and where is it that you perhaps kind of have this connection? Where do you interweave the threads of who you are with the threads of who we are, and where do you come together? Is there a place that comes together? Because if that's the case, we want to hear that story. That's what we want to know about you.
The Oregon MBA is different because it is in a smaller town. It is in Eugene, and it's not technically a big city. With that, you have a lot of perks that come with being in a small town, and connections are just that much stronger.
There's tons of fun things to do here. We're super close to nature, lots of great hikes, good food, close to Portland, close to San Francisco.
We have a lot of fun here, and I think that's really important. It's an academic environment, and we're learning constantly, but we're doing it in a way where we still get to work on projects that we really care about and in areas that we're interested in within our class context, and I think that's important. We go on trips and we experience a lot of fun things here.
Well, I hope you enjoyed our little tour of the Lundquist College of Business. I'm John Byrne with Poets and Quants. Thanks for watching.